Good evening. It is a Tuesday at 7 p.m. That could mean only one thing in the UK, and that is another episode of the UK Colts Fans. On tonight's show, I'll obviously have Robbie with me. We'll be talking about Mr. IRSAY's tweet and what we think about that. We'll also be talking about the divisional round and how exciting 4 games with a walk-off field goal winner and a game that went to overtime. We'll be right back after this. And we are back, and to my right and to your left is the quick-witted Robbie Herrick.
Mate, good evening. That has got me pumped seeing that go live.
It is amazing, isn't it? It is nice. For those who are new, or Tom, who's watching, Tom's always watching at some point. I decided to get a little intro for the show because I felt like it could have done with some sprucing up.
Yeah.
Yes, someone off Fiverr, the freelancing network we all know and love. So to get onto with today's show, I say that I think my internet's frozen. To get on with today's show, or is Robbie frozen? I think Robbie's frozen. We're going to talk about Mr. IRSAY's tweet. Technical difficulties straight away. Gotta love it. Oh no. 1 sec, guys. And he's back. That couldn't have been better timed.
After having your beautiful intro, I'm now on my phone. My laptop, after being on all day, has decided to restart itself.
Honestly, I was so confused. I was so confused with what was going on.
You couldn't chance it, could you?
Eyes. Perfect. For anyone who doesn't know, or might watch this aspiring to be a podcaster, a shit talker, whatever you want to call it, just a fan and talking shit, that sums up the troubles you have. Going live never works perfectly, but that's the fun in it. Talking about things that never work perfectly, the Colts. I mean, obviously not the perfect end to the season we all wanted. Oh, we got
Mikey.
I wonder how Mikey's feeling about Spurs at the minute, but that's for a different show. But yeah,
the Tottenham get battered everywhere they go show.
Yeah. But yeah. So, shall we talk about Mr. IRSAY's tweet?
Yeah, let's start it off with a little bit of positivity.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I read it and I was like, that's Jim IRSAY saying we're going to make some moves. And then I read it again, and that was me. And what I saw was Jim IRSAY saying, I'm going to give Carson Wentz some weapons this next season.
Do you know, it was a weird one. I'm just bringing up his tweet now, just to read it out, because I think us as fans, we want to take it in a certain way.
Of course we do.
But sorry, mate, I'm trying to not lose connection again. Bloody hell. Sorry, mate, give me 30 seconds.
So,
and I'll be with you.
Yeah. For anyone who didn't see the tweet, it basically said, it's clear to after watching the divisional round that you need a quarterback. Well, you need a quarterback and offense that can put up 30 points, and a defense that can stop a team getting 30 points. And he's back.
Right, I'm back on the laptop. We are plugged in. We've got juice.
Bring the juice.
Absolute shambles. We've only been doing this for 17 weeks.
Just like the Colts were running out of steam.
Right. So the quote I think you was just getting to.
Yeah, I paraphrased it. But,
all right, it says word for word, you can see clear as day in the final 8 NFL team playoffs, you need a QB and offense who can score 30 or more in regulation and a defense that can hold opponents under 30.
Mm-hmm. Well,
now, I'm sure you read it to begin with and like, wow, that's big.
Yeah.
But then I think once you actually take a view of it in the bigger picture, I think it was just a generalization of we've underperformed. You know, we need to give, we need to sort something out in house to then make it.
Yeah. Mikey saying, I'm not sure how to take it. All I know is I said another start of the season, we're missing an alpha at wide receiver. I do agree with that to a degree. I do think that's a bit harsh on Mike Pittman. I know it wasn't meant in that way, and we all love Mike Pittman. But when you've got one receiver doing all the work, it becomes quite one-dimensional and easy to cover, you know. I mean, everyone underperformed. I could go on and on. Pittman did well, I guess. Probably never. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's only a sophomore as well.
But you know, we've covered this. You know, he was a stud, but there was no one really stepped up into that second role, that third role. You know, that tight end. You know, we've seen like this weekend was so good to watch. You had such good football on both sides of the football, and it's like, wow, I remember what watching football was about and enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, it was a little bit of everyone. Like even someone, I think it was a tight end on the Bills who I'd never heard of, got his first touchdown this weekend. You know, because they're spreading it around. You know, the Titans used more players than anyone else this season. You know, because they've got that kind of complete kind of roster. And one thing we're going to get onto this offseason is, you know, they have compared to us.
My problem is with that and the Titans is if you sack a quarterback 9 times and still lose the game, your offense is shit. I'm sorry, your offense is. You've got all these names. Granted, you know, fuck me, I'd love to have Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry. It just, I don't know. We'll get onto that in all the offseason. I want to concentrate on the Colts.
But like, just obviously jumping back to IRSAY with 30 points, you know, I wrote down a few things today because, you know, we looked at it through the season, you know, we said that, you know, the teams that were kind of conceding more than 20 points to, like those elite QBs that can actually take over games.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we had 4 games where our defense allowed more than 30 points, you know, which, you know, and if you look at it, you know, we played the Raiders who made it to the playoffs, Patriots made it to the playoffs, Bills, Buccaneers, Titans, 49ers, you know, and the Rams, they've all made it, you know, so, you know, that's not too bad. You know, we had 7 games where we scored more than 30, but it's the games, you know, where we've conceded more than 25. That was 9 games.
Yeah.
And they're the games that I think, you know, we've ended up trying to kind of chase, and it's kind of really kind of kicked us in the arse. But more like, I had a little look at it, and I was going to put something up from the screen, but I just didn't get time. You know, we scored 451 points this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think we conceded more or less?
God.
It's a hard question.
That is a hard question. I feel like we conceded more.
So did I. I thought that, but it was only 365. You know, so there's a differential there of almost 100 points.
So that is great.
Like, we averaged just over 26 points a game, and we conceded just over 21. I mean, you got to bear in mind we had a 31-0 in that as well.
Yeah.
But I was actually looking at it today. You know, after the bye week, we were terrible.
Yeah.
You know, we scored over 25 points once in 4 games, but leading up to and it was really cool because leading up to the bye week, from week 6 to week 13, we were shit hot. We were scoring over 30 points a game.
The hottest team in the AFC.
Even in that stretch, we did concede over 30 points, but the Jets game 45-30 is a bit of an anomaly. But we that kind of 6-7 week stretch, we could have beaten anyone. I don't care if we had taken that form into the playoffs, no one would have beat us. But something happened in that bye week that mirrored the start of the season. Now, obviously, we're not in there. Obviously, we've seen Hard Knocks, but they don't actually show you what. But something in there is not right. Obviously, we know the kind of scheme he wants, but something isn't quite right in that team. And I don't think it's fair to blame one person. I don't think it's fair to blame the O-line or the wide receivers or Carson or Frank. I think it's just a combination of a shit show. And I think that's what IRSAY was coming back to, that it just wasn't good enough. And that's what we want to aspire to, scoring over 30 and not conceding 30. And I think that's what he wants. That's his blueprint.
And I mean, I just don't know where it went wrong with this team. I mean, I think for me, you look at where it's gone wrong, and it's Ryan Kelly, unfortunately, having to be out for family reasons. We know that's no dig on him at all.
Yeah.
He could have had another year off if it was from me.
No, definitely.
When you look at what Ryan Kelly brings to the team, just a couple of games he's missing, the O-line was non-existent. And this sounds really weird, but Senedo being out for a couple of games cost us massively.
In that run game, he is we spoke about it so many times. Sandeo in the running game was superb.
If he could work on his pass coverage this off season, he's a really exciting player.
I don't know if he comes back.
I hope he does. I know a lot of Colts fans will think I'm mental and not want that, because apparently he's the worst safety in the league. But as Colts fans, we just got to stop reading tag headlines and clickbait headlines.
This IRSAY,
Yeah, and stop reading into PFF who make up stats to make average players sound decent.
And why I'm not talking about our situation in a certain position until April 1st.
Like saying D and special teams were phenomenal.
Obviously, when we have a little chat about this weekend's game, do not just hit home how important special teams are. Special teams have won games this weekend.
Yeah.
Whether it be a block punt, whether it be field goals from 3 of the games, and I think that's what we're bloody good at. We've spoke all season how much we love Bubba, but it's the culture that kind of breeds good special teams.
Yeah, I mean, we love Bubba. I mean, for me, I want him as the defensive coordinator. I'd love to see what he could bring to a defense. The defense, I could say there's no pass rush, but you're never going to get pass rush if you only ever rush 4.
Yeah.
I don't believe that in one season, DeForest Buckner went from a 15, 16 sack player to a 4 sack player overnight. And can we just, I wanted to address this because it was really pissing me off over the weekend. Denico Autry has one good game against a very, very below par offensive line, and Colts fans are like, why did we get rid of him? He was got up. Our pass rush hasn't got any better, but he was awful. He turned up for 2 games and then disappeared for 9.
There was no consistency from him.
Yeah, and the Colts offered him a contract. Let's get that straight as well. The Colts offered him a contract and he wanted more money.
Yeah, which he's there for a business, but that's just lazy. That's a lazy Colts fan. That's like seeing, I'm trying to think of an Arsenal striker. That's like Shamak. You know, like he come to West Ham, like, and he scored like one good goal. That's not saying, oh, he's like the best striker. Well, no, he's actually pretty shit, and he's turned up for one game.
Yeah, what's this from Monkey? I was shocked to see that Darius Leonard's sat number on the season.
Wasn't many. I think that's more of a scheme thing, though, Mikey. You know, it's just a lack of creativity on both sides of the ball. To be fair, you know, at times it was good. You know, at some time, like we saw a few Kyrie Willis come down a couple of times. We saw Kenny Moore come down a couple of times, but there was just a lack of. But you know, and Darius was injured for most of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you watch the Chiefs, right? For example, their pass rush is ferocious.
Mate, you see Von Miller at the weekend. He's about 95 years old.
Yeah, and it's all ifs, buts, and maybes, but you know, I think the pass rush and the D line will be a standout unit next year, and I think a lot of people are going to be caught by surprise.
But you know, if you look at obviously the 49ers and Rams, you know, they're not really going. They're not going through the draft to build. They're going and picking up some good free agents. Kansas City have gone out and got some good free agents as well. You know, and that's one thing that, you know, Ballard's always been criticised for. He's never really gone out. You know, yes, he's gone and got Buckner, but he's never really gone and got a big name on offense. You know, obviously we've had to fill in with Phillip Rivers. We've had to fill in with Carson, but you know, he's never gone and splurged on a bit of a toy. Let's say.
Yeah. And now's the you know, he's got a bit of money in the bank. He's saved up enough savings. Now there's time to go and get that sports car.
Yeah, just something a bit of fun. Like, as I say, like watching the football this weekend was fun.
Yeah.
You know, I rewatched the highlights this morning, and it was fun. This year just hasn't been fun. You know, and it's so frustrating as well because we had that period which was so good, but like obviously Rams are through to the conference game. You know, we lost to them by 3 points.
Yeah.
You know, as we go down, 49ers we beat. Obviously Titans we know we lost to them. Bills we beat 41-15. Bucks we lost to by 1 score. Patriots we beat. Raiders we lost to by 3 points. And so, you know, there's all these teams that have kind of gone on and getting all these plaudits, but you know, this is being literally 1 score away from winning. You know, and when you watch like the Bills, Kansas, the Rams, you know, when their quarterback's got the ball, you think they're going to go down the field. You think their offense, like, they can do it. And so many times we've seen Carson get the ball in the last 5 minutes even. You're like, I don't think our offense can do this. And as I say, you know, not repeating myself again, you know, it's the whole collective. It's the play calling. It's Frank Reich. It's Carson. It's
everything. It's everything.
And you know, just obviously, this is what old Jimmy Boy was saying. You know, we need to improve, and hopefully, you know, once we know what's happening with the coaches, then I'm sure there's a game plan.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the coaches for a sec. It looks more likely that Flus is out the door. I mean, he's out. For me, he's out the door for the wrong reasons. I like, as a team builder, as a good guy, as a locker room culture person, and his zone coverages can be excellent. As a defensive coordinator, I just don't think he's it. You know, I was watching other teams' defenses through the playoffs going, where was that? Do you know, where has that been for us? But that, I could do a whole 2 hours on Fleece and why he's good at what he is. And
you know, things need to change.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons, things have had to change. And at least there's been a change forced upon us where, you know, now they're going to have to look at it differently. And, you know, we just want to get more aggressive, you know, and it's just being present and being there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. The aggression I've seen from other teams, sending a blitz on first down, going deep on the first play of the game, stuff like that. I'm just like, and I think we touched on it last week, when we both sort of agreed that we was happy we weren't in the playoffs, because we're not quite there, and that's okay to say. I think Colts fans have got to accept that. So you can say we weren't good enough. There doesn't have to be an excuse or a problem or a scapegoat. We just weren't good enough.
Now we can at least we can draw a line under it now.
Yeah.
And and then we get to actually enjoy some football.
And all the teams that we wanted to have been knocked out. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, it's good. What did you watch? All the games, some of the games, part of the games?
The only one I didn't watch was probably the most entertaining one, the Bills-Chiefs.
Because the NFL hate the UK.
Yeah.
The scheduling for the playoffs have been diabolical for us.
It absolutely sucks, man.
We get all the shite.
Yeah, right. Just do it 2 hours earlier.
Just like this weekend, the game's on at 8 and then 11:30. It's like, come on.
Yeah, on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Like,
help us out a bit.
Yeah.
So, what's your favourite game that you watched?
Oh, it has to be the Bengals Titans. And can I just say, I think Evan McPherson is my player of the year.
Oh, mate, he's my favourite player of all time right now.
And the guy is just, I mean, that's what you need from a kicker. That, like they say, that's why you draft the kicker.
Have you heard about what he said when he was going onto the field for that? Was it 52-yard?
54.
54. Do you know what he said?
What?
As he got off the bench, he got, oh, and someone said, what's that? And he said, that's a leg of someone that's just about to make a 54-yard kick and win the game. I'm like, mate, that is taking absolute bollocks to do that. Like, in his rookie year, just to go out and have that, just absolute shithousery.
Yeah.
Like, I absolutely love it. And he made 3 big kicks in the game, and then just to come out and do that at the end, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And the fact it was against the Titans.
Yeah. I quite like the Bengals. I like this little underdog run they're going on. I like Joey B. Jamar Chase. That's a great pairing. But they need this was my question for this show for you.
Yep.
Why is nobody learning the lesson from the Colts and Andrew Luck about protecting a generational quarterback?
It's crazy, isn't it? Like, to be fair to the kid, he doesn't mind getting hit. He gets straight back up, but it's going to take his toll, as we've seen. We've seen some quarterbacks that are now average that could have been good. Wentz, is he seeing ghosts? The lad that was Sam Darnold that was obviously in New York.
Yeah.
He got hit a lot, and I think it's affected him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's mental, isn't it? Like 9 times he got sacked. A couple of them were on him, but still, he is a proper roster builder, and he's someone you can build your offense around. He seems like he can run. He's got the pizzazz. He's got that smile.
Yeah, and for me as well, when it comes to protecting your quarterback, the Bills and Josh Allen, who is probably the closest sort of style, type of play, size, stature to Andrew Luck, who does them runs downfield.
Yeah.
It looks good trucking over a linebacker as a quarterback, but
my favourite part of that game was, because Tannehill had some beautiful throws. Like he got some back shoulder throws. I thought he was having a pretty good game for him. 22 seconds left, he gets intercepted. I'm like, fucking yes! Like, so he starts the game with an interception, finishes the game with an interception, and I was just like, when that happens to a team that's really pissing you off lately, it does make you smile.
Yeah,
it's like a little bit of justice coming back.
Yeah, and I feel watching that game, Carson is weirdly. I was sort of trying to evaluate it in my head. Is right in the middle of the spectrum between Tannehill and Burrow. He is right in the middle between them two of being able to do it and not being able to do it. I can't really explain it more than that without going into everything in my head. But I just like the explosiveness. There was never one play I was watching from the Bengals or even the Titans to an extent where I was going, this is a run play, this is a pass play.
Yeah.
I can do that with the Colts, and I shouldn't be able to do that as a casual.
No.
I shouldn't.
But it's good. Like, if it weren't for Mike Vrabel, I think the Titans wouldn't be anywhere near the playoffs. I think their defense is very good.
Yeah.
Very consistent, no matter who's playing. And I think for us next year, we can beat them. It's just we've just got to, because they are the ones that we need to beat. They did twice this year.
If Tycon Lewis doesn't pop an ACL as he's carrying the ball, even though we still recovered it, but somehow we come out with the ball, but somehow it was the Titans who recovered it.
Yeah.
If I think we could go through every game and pick out 7-8 points where we're like, just how?
Yeah. They were 12 points better off than us this year. As in our 2 games, so that's 2 touchdowns, which I think that's fair to say. What's Mikey B coming up with?
He just said Joy B needs some blocking. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I mean, I brought it up last week. I sort of want to go into it, but Baker Mayfield, look who's there. Look who's at the Browns, and look what's happening to Baker Mayfield.
Another one just getting absolutely abused.
Who I would be honest was probably one of. I know he would have been expensive, but was who I would have wanted as the Colts QB1 coming into this year.
Yeah, I've got some QB questions for the end anyway.
Yeah. So that was the Bengals Titans game.
Yeah.
It was a good watch. Both one seeds getting knocked out. The Packers getting knocked out to the 49ers in another defensive.
That was a weird game, wasn't it?
Yeah. Again, people screaming for Aaron Rodgers to be in Indianapolis, but for me, I didn't see it. I didn't see why I'd want him.
Do you know, for Green Bay, if they didn't have that block punt, by their own 20, they go through. For me, again, it was another special teams masterclass. From a field goal in the dying seconds, block punt. It's the special teamers that have won it for it. Green Bay missed the field goal in the second. For me, it's down to the special teams. But the 49ers defense, they've got some big pieces. They've got some great pieces, some absolute game wreckers.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if they can keep pace.
Yeah.
With the Rams.
The O-line for the Bengals isn't. No, but the O-line for the Bengals wasn't good enough to win that game.
The defense for the Bengals, the Bengals have been trash for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Now they've got their quarterback, and so they're going to be putting pieces together. You just hope for, as an NFL fan watching Joe Burrows, hopefully it's not too late and they actually get an O-line around them to actually look after him.
Yeah. So the Rams and the Bucs, wow. Tom Brady actually bleeds. I didn't know that.
No, you thought he would just be this immortal beast. But again, another field goal winning it. Both teams were making a lot of mistakes.
The Rams, I think I saw a tweet that summed it up perfectly, is the Rams managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat after snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
They were 27-3 up at the half.
Yeah.
But again, just there was a lot of big mistakes. There was big handling areas that kind of made the game swing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just a weird. And I'm so happy for Matt Stafford because he had such shit in Detroit. You know, all he was ever getting, he's a big arm. That's all he's got. He's a big arm. Well, no, he actually had shit around him. Once you put him in with a good offensive coordinator, that would Sean McVay. You know, he's good and it's fun to watch.
Yeah. I still think it was too expensive for the Colts.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. But you know, they're in this position and we're not. You know, they've got, you know, Cooper Kupp could have quite easily been Michael Pittman.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp, it has to be in the chat for MVP. Phenomenal season. So here was my question about the Rams. Let's say they don't win the Super Bowl. Let's say they lose the championship game. They've given up what? So they've not got a first round pick now until 2025?
Something like that, yeah.
2024? You know, and yet they've not got a ring to show for it. Is that good GMing and coaching? Or
do you know, I think we're force fed this through the draft, and there's got to be a good combination of both. You know, they've wasted picks on the likes of Jared Goff, who won't be in the league in a couple of years. You know, and they're going for the Von Millers. You know, and these big names like Jalen Ramsey, who got absolutely torched by Mike Evans. It was I hate Jalen Ramsey, probably from his time from the Jaguars, but you know, Mike Evans literally a straight run and just does him. It's beautiful and a beautiful throw, to be fair. But you know, both these teams, they're not building through the draft. They're building for now. You know, they're going to go get whatever it needs, whatever piece they think they need. They're going to go and get. You know, the Rams have been to obviously the Super Bowl was 2-3 years ago. You know, I fancy them against the 49ers, so they're going to be in another Super Bowl at home. So you know, their model works. You know, but if you don't bring that ring home, then it's not mission accomplished, is it?
No.
But they're doing a hell of a lot better than the likes of us, than the likes of the Browns. You know, the Browns have had so many first-round picks. Jaguars so many first-round picks.
Yeah.
You know, and as we've said, first-round picks don't guarantee your success.
No. Yeah, for me, you know, it feels a bit like the Colts give up one first-round pick for Carson, and the Rams are giving up 2 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford, and both feel equally as the trade value shows, if that makes sense. So I feel like we are where we are because we only spent 1 first-round pick. The Rams are where they are because they spent 2 first-round picks.
But then Jamal Adams to the Seahawks, they gave up a couple of first rounds for him at the safety. So
yeah,
when you kind of compare it, I'm much happier where we are.
Yeah, it's just football. Anything can happen.
Yeah. So you know, and there's no, you know, it's a copycat league. So there's no right way or wrong way. It's just a case of however you get through. You know, Tampa going obviously playoffs, winning it playoffs. You know, that model obviously works. Kansas City have gotten very, like, you know, they've got lucky with Mahomes. You know, everyone passed on Mahomes. Was it Mahomes went in the 3rd round, 4th round,
something like that? Yeah.
So every team passed him like 3 times. So no one's expecting him to be this generational game changer. You know, so they've got lucky there, but you know, and they've been able to add pieces, you know, like Tyrann Mathieu, you know, who can come in, who's got experience. So you know, there's got to be a little bit of both when it kind of comes to building, you know, and that's why we're here talking and not getting paid millions to bring these boys in.
Yeah. So another QB situation, Tannehill. Have you seen his cap hit for next year?
It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something like it was either 38 or 28 million, but I think it was something. Yeah, it is massive, and it just keeps going up. Derrick Henry, I want it from a competition standpoint and from just an enjoyment and a fan. I want Derrick Henry to be that sort of 2K monster, Derrick Henry. But they can't just run him into the ground like that when he's not fit, clearly not fit.
Yeah, they one of their other running backs got quite a big a big chunky run towards the end. Yeah. Obviously, just finishing up these games.
Yeah.
Buffalo against Kansas.
Yeah.
Like I put here, like I've got some notes. 13 seconds. What can you do in 13 seconds? Like not much. Like, and the amount of points that are getting scored, and was it? It's a question. Was it great defense or great offense that won that game?
Great offense.
Like, and both teams, both quarterbacks are just unreal. Sometimes they just take what's given to them, but just when, and they'll just take the yards, and then all of a sudden, boom, there's a 30, 40, 50 yard bullet. Yeah. And it's just like, wow, like so impressive to watch. We've spoke about the Bills and Josh Allen. I absolutely love him to pieces. For me, he is my favorite quarterback in the league at the moment. And it's just having that amount of points scored so quickly in the last couple of minutes. Like, if you're a betting man trying to obviously cash out at any point, I'd hate to have seen it.
I mean, I just thought Fluce's prevent defense was horrendous, but I'd be sacking my defensive coordinator if he gave up 40 yards or whatever it was with 13 seconds left.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's just the standard of tackling from all defenses were just so many missed tackles was crazy. And it's just a shame a game like that finishes in overtime like that. We all know the rules. No one likes the rules. Yeah. But the fact that a massive game like that could just end on a. But then I guess that's part of the game. Defense are there to stand up. If they'd have stopped them, then they'd have got a chance to score. So,
are you one for the rule change or no?
The rules are what they are.
Mm-hmm.
One possession each. Does that really work out? I'm not sure. How do you make it fair? I don't think you can make an NFL overtime.
It's fair.
So straight to a shootout. Let's get the defensive tackles making field goals.
Yeah, that's the only way it would be fair. I hate the overtime rules, but I don't see what you can change it to.
No, I'm exactly the same. It can't be like, let's give you a shot. Unless they say, you've got 4 downs, red zone for the offense, 4 downs, red zone, the other offense down the other side of the field. Mm-hmm. Whoever scores earliest. But again, it just makes it weird. It's like playground stuff. So, I really don't have the answer with it. But I just know I don't like it. I saw a stat by ESPN put out today. In overtime, 90.9% of those that win the coin toss go on to win the game, which sucks. But they've had 60 minutes. They've had 3 hours worth of sport to win it. And
what would be interesting is, that's that 90.9% win it. What you really need to look at there before saying, we need to change it is how much percentage of that to choose offense to receive and how much choose to defer.
Yeah.
Because that also means teams that choose to defer but have won the coin toss have won.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
But we could spend hours talking about ways to improve the game.
Especially from the refereeing has been substandard this year.
even I was watching the Titans going, what? And I'm like, why?
Yeah, no, it is bad. But looking forward to this week then.
Yeah.
We've got the 10-7 Bengals against the 12-5 Kansas City Chiefs, and then the 10-7 49ers against the 12-5 Rams. So both away teams won 10-7, both home teams 12-5.
I think the Bengals do it,
Do you? Do you reckon they can keep pace?
I think I think personally, I think Burrow's a better quarterback, or a better quarterback in the making than Mahomes.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, it all depends on how the offensive line holds up for the Bengals. Really, that's what it's leaning on. If it's anything like it is against the Titans, then they stand no chance.
Yeah. Like Tyreek Hill, I was watching some of the tackling against him, because he had a couple of big runs, and it's like, geez, he should have been stopped, after a couple of yards. But he managed to wiggle out and around it. For me, it's going to be a Kansas City, LA final for me. But the most important thing, I'm actually looking forward to sitting down and watching the football game, which the last 2 weeks has been great, and it's actually nice to sit and enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I can't call it. I think the Chiefs are in danger of already looking past the Bengals.
Always can happen.
I think, is Matthew Stafford going to get a nosebleed all of a sudden?
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo cannot be going to the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl winner Jimmy Garoppolo.
Shit, fuck you.
Hey, I saw an interesting stat today.
Oh, okay.
So, Super Bowl winner Jacoby Brissett has choked 0 playoff games this year. Super Bowl winner Carson Wentz has choked 0 playoff games this year.
How many Ryan Tannehill choked?
The almighty Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl winner, only got the same amount of rings as them two, has choked 1 playoff game this year and choked 1 playoff game last year. Carson Wentz didn't do it last year either, so I'm just saying.
No. Any positivity, that I'm gonna jump onto. But before I ask you about this, about the QB market, what's your predictions then?
What for the games?
Yeah, do you reckon Bengals are going to beat the Chiefs then?
Yeah, I'll call it. Bengals will beat the Chiefs, and I'm with you with the Rams beating the Niners.
Okay. I just really want Matt Stafford.
I think we all do, don't we?
Yeah, we in this country we love an underdog, don't we?
Yeah. And we know Matt Stafford is Andrew Luck's little brother. So,
is he not older?
Was he the draft? I thought he was the draft after.
Might be.
I can't remember, but
I've lost the years. So
it still could be older to me.
Not mentioning the Indianapolis Colts and our QB situation, because we have a quarterback. He is the contract, not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fact. At the moment, he is our quarterback. Nothing changes. Yeah. But Big Ben is leaving Pittsburgh. Tom Brady, was it his last game? Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. Obviously, Tannehill with his big contract. So it's going to take one move for then. Like I can see, it's going to be one big move for a quarterback, and then it's literally all going to tumble all into place. What do you think is going to happen? What is your prediction for the QB market?
God,
who's going to be who's going to be going into Pittsburgh? I think it's got to be the one that kind of gets people. I think that's going to be the Jenga piece as such.
Yeah, that's a tough one. You could also ask the question: is Trevor Lawrence and Matt Eberflus quarterback?
Is Trevor Lawrence going to be there? Is Jimmy G going to be there, or is Trey Lance going to be taken over?
And I know it's a big if and a big asterisk, but is Deshaun Watson going to get cleared?
Is Russell Wilson going to get his move away? There's so many quarterbacks out there that, there's so many ifs and buts, but all we know is Big Ben's gone. Pittsburgh need a quarterback. Duck Rodgers and all the others, whoever they've had back up in the last couple of years, haven't been good enough. So they need to go and get someone.
Yeah. I don't know. Because who's a good fit for Pittsburgh? It's cold. It's like the Manchester of America. Cold and industrial, and probably got some shit band where they sing moany songs. Not that I love them. But we'll just get on to what Mikey's saying before we carry on. Odd time rules.
Yeah, that's literally what we said, Mikey.
Any given Sunday, you got to turn up to play.
We like that.
But Mike Tomlin, he's a very good coach, but he's very old-fashioned and everything. It's all sticks, curls, slants, runs. Tom Brady's not going to want to do that because he'll want to run it.
Who's going to want to play out in the cold? Obviously, if Aaron Rodgers has been playing in the cold, put him in a dome and things could be different. But even, obviously we know the rumours about, he's on Pat McAfee's show all the time, and there's obviously that link. But to me, he's been in the league for 105 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one, as you say, he's got one ring.
Yeah.
Yes, he is elite. Yes, he is good. But for me, that's not even Hall of Fame worthy.
No, even, I mean, it's a tragedy. We consider it a tragedy that Peyton Manning's only got 2 rings.
Yeah. Andrew Luck didn't get a ring, but he was a generational talent. So, Tom Brady is going to retire. We don't know. I just think one of these moves are going to happen, and then there'll be a massive Jenga. I think it will be then just everything will fall in place. Like this year, Matt Stafford got taken off the board, and then Wentz happened, and it all kind of happened.
Yeah. Love Joey B from his LSU days along with Chase, but not on Mahomes level yet. Mahomes. Yeah, I've got my thing about Mahomes. 49ers seem to have the Rams number. Can they do it 3 times in a season? That's the question.
Doesn't happen, does it?
No. And we'll do a show about quarterbacks and stuff and what I actually think about. I don't think he's a bad player by any standards. I think he's very good.
Yeah.
Do I think he's elite? Although I think it's his offense and Andy Reid that make him elite. But yeah, back to the silly season. It's a tough one. All we know is that Carson Wentz is going to be our quarterback next season. From Colts loyalist. Sorry, I missed guys earlier. I didn't get notified. Colts is fine.
Bye, man.
We were just basically saying we think everyone's reading into it too much. And it was basically we weren't good enough rather than we're getting a new quarterback. I think what could be if Russell Wilson maybe to Pittsburgh, and then I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle win the Super Bowl with future Super Bowl winner Jacob Eason as QB1. But
you heard it here first, folks.
But Jacob Eason, obviously a deep threat quarterback, DK Metcalf. That sounds like a good pairing in my head. What do we think is going to happen with Sammy the Slinger Erlinger?
I think, as I say, once I'm not talking about our QB situation until April the 1st. What I will say, as a politician, once one of these gaps are filled with a quarterback, there's going to be a massive Jenga just topple down. And I think there's going to be a lot of movement with a lot of quarterbacks. And I think I think if a team's looking for one, they need to do it earlier to dominate the market rather than just feeding on scraps afterwards, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But in no way, shape or form have I just commented on the Colts quarterback situation.
Very good, Boris. I wasn't really the Colts quarterback situation, but I mean, do you think Sammy's going to be around, or do you think we're drafting the league?
No. I don't think we'll be drafting any quarterbacks. I don't think we've got enough picks to be throwing away on positions where we're not needs. We've got so many bloody holes from tight end, wide receiver, what we're doing at left tackle, cornerback, safety, edge rushers. We've got so many holes where and just be. I don't really watch too many of the other games of the NFL other than when we're on a bye week or if we're playing on a midweek game, because obviously all the time watching the Colts, and it's great to see how other teams do it properly.
Yeah.
But saying that, that's unfair. I think all Colts fans, especially Twitter, has been overreacting. Again, I'll go back week 6 to week 13. We were unreal. Until that 31-0 shutout to the Texans, that just lead up to the games, and we played some big teams in there. And we're just missing a couple of pieces, whether that be in the coaching or on the players, and we'd be there.
We've got a good question from Colts loyalist. Just quickly before we get into it, Colts loyalist, for you don't know, he does a lot of work with IRSAY. Go and check
winner of last week's award.
Yeah. If you could have one wish fulfilled, what would both of your wish be?
You go first, mate, because
I'm not going to do the obvious one, and that's have a peak Andrew Luck in this team. I'm not going to do that one.
Okay.
My wish would be to have Tony Dungy as a defensive coordinator for this team next season. That would be my one wish.
One wish, it would be Andrew Luck coming back with this offensive line. But if obviously that can't be done, even though it is my wish, I would like to have a game wrecker on the defensive end position. Someone like a TJ Watt, someone, a Von Miller in his prime, someone on the edge that just absolutely pisses off every team they play.
Quitty Pay's going to fulfill that for you, mate, this year.
I think you're full of shit.
I think you're full of shit, but
I hope Quitty Pay is. I do hope he is. And I think it's a scheme thing rather than personnel.
Yeah.
I think if we get someone a little bit more creative, a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more aggressive, then I think
we did start frustratingly in the last 4 games. We started getting to the quarterback.
But yeah, so yeah, Colts lawyers. So that'd be it for me. Just an absolute monster, a terrorist on the edge.
Just give it like 3 future first round picks for Nick Boycer or something. Because we all know we'll keep a quarterback until Eichmann is available to draft.
What about you, Guy? What about Mr. Loyalist 5678, if he's still about, or even Mikey if he's still around?
We'll give them a couple of minutes. What was I going to say? I did have something else. Yeah, so who do you think the defensive coordinator is going to be then?
Knowing Ballard, he'll just promote from within. It will end up being a bloody tight ends coach. What I wouldn't give to be your genie in a bottle. I'll tell you what, that's the best offer I've had in years. I'm a married man with children, man.
Just imagine like adding Darius Leonard to the front 7 with Robert Mathis, and putting DeForest Buckner in there. Mate, that'd be excellent. But then having the brains of someone like Tony Dungy coaching this defense.
I would.
We could wish for everything, couldn't we?
I prefer an elite defense to an elite offense.
Yeah. Football wishes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're not willing to comment on the QB situation.
Nope.
I've got a different positional situation I need you to comment on, Lloyd, before we end this show.
Yeah.
Is the Money Badger our kicker next year, or is it Hot Rod?
I think they'll have another kicking competition leading up to the season. I think Hot Rod will win it.
I think Badgers has earned his chance, like.
Yeah, no, they definitely. Yeah. And I think they'll bring them both. Who was it we brought in? Was it Eddie Pinheiro or one of them ex-Bears, wasn't it, this off-season for a bit of a kicking competition? I think it'll be harsh just to cut one. I think they'll use camp as a situational. And I think it would be good for both of them to put them under pressure.
The thing is, we need a kicker who can kick over 50 yards. That's the problem at the minute.
The development physically that our speckled friend had, he from year 1 to year 2, you can see he put on a bit of muscle, he put on a bit of weight, and that comes with developing as age. He's obviously still very young, and if he's done the hard work, if he does the hard yards, then he will have a job.
Yeah. I think that's about it. Is there anything else we needed to talk about?
No, mate. No, we've got a full off season. Obviously, we'll keep doing these until the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then it'd be good to do a little bit of. I wish Reich would stop calling the plays. That's fair. But again, is it Reich not having confidence in his offense, or is it just too vanilla? Anyway. So in the off season, after the Super Bowl, I think we'll do some invites to Colts fans to come on, and we can interview Colts fans. Yeah,
we'll grow the community, shall we say?
So if anyone's interested in being on for a session, doing a bit of a Q&A, why you're a Colts fan, what makes you love them, favorite player, etc., etc., etc.
Usual podcast shit.
Favorite flavor crisps.
Yeah.
Reach out to me and the big dog, and we'll get you scheduled in.
There you go. Guys, it's been another Tuesday evening show. I wish I was talking about the Colts advancing to the championship game, but I'm not. Just before we go, a new watcher, G-Stop. Nice to see you. It's always nice getting new watchers. And come back next week and we'll have another show. Yeah, and that's if you like it, you might not like it. I wish I could think of a witty ending to end the show. But...
I don't know if I've shown you this before. You ever watch Friday Night Lights?
Yeah.
Dylan Panthers. I just trying to give it a break. But I will have a new camera. I will order a new camera now, so I'm looking I won't be as pretty as yourself.
Of course. But that was, I have just remembered it in the dying embers of this show. I need to decide whose shirt I'm going to wear next year. I don't know.
I did have the question, but I thought I'd save it for next week.
We'll save it for next week.
Okay, I'll save it for next week.
Yeah, save it for next week because we're going to need to fill content somehow.
Hey, mate, we've just done 58 minutes on 4 games. It's been beautiful.
Yeah. And 10 minutes of that was technical.
They haven't seen the beginning. Let's forget it ever happened.
Thanks, everyone, so much for watching. If you're new, do like and subscribe. It helps the channel. Also, I'm pretty sure Mikey does his podcast. Mikey does NFL. Check that out. And Colts Loyalist does a lot of work with Lawrence Owen. So, yeah, Robbie, it's been a pleasure as always, mate. To everyone else.
Ladies and gentlemen, fly into our DMs if you want to.
Yeah. See you all later.
Take care, pal.